Is everybody's first day, anybody's first day here today? Or has everybody been here all weekend? Some kids are first day. Awesome. Awesome. My name is Garrett Fuller. I work for MMORPG.com. I've been in the game industry 9 years, since 2005. I can't believe I'm going to hit a decade doing this stuff. I started out as a journalist, and I cover basically online games. So that started out as MMORPGs for years. Now it has expanded into all types of games that are becoming online and have multiplayer aspects across consoles, across new platforms, and especially across mobile. Which is really amazing. I am very lucky to be joined by two guys who know a lot about the game industry. They've been doing it a long time. To my left is Miguel Caron. Miguel is from Montreal. He runs a studio called Behavior Interactive. If there is a game you've heard of, Behavior has probably had some hand in it, especially recently, which I know I can't say the games. But they do all types of work, and one of their premier titles that we've been working with them on is a Warhammer 40,000 Eternal Crusade combat MMO that's coming out in 2015.
Don't forget Star Citizen.
And Star Citizen, if anyone's heard of Star Citizen, Chris Roberts' game as well. And to his left is Joe Fletcher. Joe works for D3 Publishing, and he works on Marvel Puzzle Quest. So they not only get to work with Marvel characters, but they work on the mobile and tablet platforms.
As well as PC.
As well as PC, right. Taking games like Puzzle Quest, which are super huge, popular, and you wouldn't even realize how popular they really are. And so both of these guys can answer a lot of questions about where the future, that's why I call it the future of video games, because games have changed so much over the past 5-6 years, and we get a chance to look into what's coming over the next 5 or 6 years to take us into the next decade. So what I'll do is I'll go down a bunch of different topics, but really it's for you guys to ask as many questions as you can and as many questions as you want. And we're all video game players here, so feel free to ask about anything you might want to learn. It's a really fun industry to work in, and hopefully you guys will like what we have to say. So one of the things that cracks me up is all the kids in the audience. You guys probably play games every day, I'm sure. My son is 7 years old. I can't get him off of World of Tanks or Diablo. Probably shouldn't let him play Diablo. And when I tell him to get off Diablo, he picks up his iPad and goes on to Minecraft. And I'm like, okay, can you drop Minecraft? He says, no, I'm going to go play Hearthstone now. And I'm like, oh, I can't win. But you guys really are the digital generation. I grew up and I remember getting cable in my house, and it was a huge deal. You guys have cable TV like nobody even thought that there wouldn't be 50, 300, 700 channels, right? And now you guys have multiple ways of playing games, and it really influences how you think. It helps you with problem solving. It does help you with schoolwork and homework. I have to say that. But it really is interesting. And I'm curious to what you guys see on your side about that generation that's coming up. And I say, if I wanted to play, I played Dungeons and Dragons as a kid. I grew up playing Warhammer. But my son plays 8 games on different platforms. And I see what you guys are probably playing every day. So Miguel, maybe we'll start with you. What are you seeing about the kids coming, because you have kids too, so you can tell everybody what you're
It's funny, there's a viral video I saw on Facebook a few months ago where there was a 5 to 6-year-old girl that was shown a magazine, and she was there with the magazine trying to zoom it, and I just thought it was very funny. And my youngest son, my 2 sons plays video games obviously, and one of them is more a creative type, and he built his first MMO when he was 10 years old in Minecraft. And I told him, I said, it's going to be expensive on my bandwidth, to create. So if you allow anybody to sign in. So what he did, he asked his friend at school to give him $2, and he brought me like $10 worth of coins to say, here you go. I've charged my friends to have access to the game now, so you can do it. I was like, well, you're 10 years old. So how do you set up a server? And it's just natural for them. So I really think that kids have a different vision right now, and I felt old actually when that device came out, where you can touch the back of the screen, the front of the screen, you can move it, there's a camera as well, you can play with your cup on the table and your character goes around your cup in augmented reality thing. And I was like, I couldn't play that game. It was too complicated. And my son started playing the game. I said, you should read, do the tutorial. My son says, I never do tutorial. And he went, boom, 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 boom. And it was natural for him because they had that mindset. So it's a challenge for us actually because we need to keep our heart young and listen to these new generation coming up because what they will do once they're leading the industry is limitless.
It's really, really driven virtual reality to an extent that I put them on last year and I was like, take this away from me now. Because I'm done. Hook the tubes up now. But that is another step that games are taking now with the rise of this technology. And Sony announced theirs last month, and there's another company in Europe I think that's making another one. Your experience in terms of what you see is really, really going to change over the next couple of years. And I mean, they're really driving this and pushing this technology now too. It's shocking. Has anyone ever actually used it or put one on their heads? So it's pretty neat, isn't it? Especially if you like Star Citizen and space dogfight games. Holy cow! It's really cool. And what this will do for the first-person shooter experience, I can't even imagine. But I always say I look like Stevie Wonder with it on. So. I'm trying to play my game, and I love Stevie Wonder, and I'm sitting there singing. I'm like, dude, I watched that video, and I started going to it. And but it is an amazing piece of technology, and it's an amazing experience you guys are going to have over the next couple of years as it continues. So, I mean, I know both you guys have probably used it, but what's been your experience with the Rift and any kind of augmented virtual reality that's going to hit these guys?
Well, I mean, there's a bit of a difference there between augmented and virtual reality in particular. I mean, augmented reality, you're going to see more things kind of like Google Glass. Once that moves forward, technology expands there, where you already see it in mobile games right now, where you can kind of stake out your territory in a city or something, and join an alliance, and those people will actually capture nodes and cities and things, and that sort of thing I definitely foresee going on once augmented reality tech moves a little bit further along, so that you'll actually be able to see waypoints and markers and gaming elements as you're moving through a town. I mean, that sort of thing's already sort of happening on gaming devices with Vita and your mobile devices, and that's definitely going to continue. And then virtual reality on its own, Oculus Rift, Evolvery is one of the things that I messed around with a little bit. It's absolutely amazing, and it's totally the next step in kind of an immersive environment.
And I kind of listed out the ways that we are going to be doing this, which, the community aspects of games has grown drastically. And you see that across media now. I mean, if you look at what Marvel's done with their movies, they've hooked us all. I can't wait for Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, I literally can't wait for it. I barely read the comic as a kid, and I'm like, dude, look at my son, I'm like, we're going, let's go, But they've hooked that community, and they keep you coming back. And that's the key. And games really, really started that with the online forums and being able to talk about your experiences with different people. That continues to grow. Build that into the fact that they now have to listen to feedback. There's really no longer a game out there that they go, yeah, no, we built this game, you guys just play it. Right? That's too arrogant. Like, that's insanely arrogant for a developer to really believe that they can outsmart you. Because they can't. And as Miguel just said, you guys are smarter than half I know you're smarter than half the MBAs I know trying to break into video games right now. You know what you want to play, you know how to play it, you play faster than everybody else. So that's very true. And then with Kickstarter, which how many people, has anyone in here ever backed the Kickstarter project? Or crowdfunded anything? So at this point, you now are an investor. You're no longer just a player, you're no longer a consumer. You give that money up front and you're demanding that game to be built. And that's an amazing sense of power that the community can now fund a video game. They've funded movies. I mean, it's like incredible. So in terms of the idea that we will all build games together, that is incredibly true. And you're seeing it more and more and more. So do you want to just touch on that? Oh, what's it like for you guys with your games? Joe, we'll start with you and we'll go to Miguel.
Sure.
How you work with the communities that are out there.
Sure. I mean, the D3 publisher does box product as well as digital products. So yeah, it's been a huge transition for us because it used to be the case where, okay, we're going to make this game, all right, Dark Sector's out, cool, and it's out in the players' hands, and they play the game, and that's it. Like, our work has been done, unless we need to do a patch or whatever, but that's, whatever. So now, with the experiences that everyone is crafting nowadays, it's definitely something where you have to build the community into it. I mean, we have to make sure that the game that we're making and continuing to make a year down the line, 2 years down the line, is still going to be someone that, or something that someone that was playing day one, 2 years back, is still going to enjoy. And it's totally in your hands. I mean, it's something that we kind of lay out, hey, we're going to do an event in another month. We know it's going to be some kind of PvE event. And we don't know what it is. At that point, we haven't designed it yet because it all comes from your feedback. And which character comes out next, it all comes from your feedback. And it's been totally something that's just been turned on its head. It's something that, you know, we used to design everything from the, you know, ground up and put experience in front of players and maybe do a sequel to now, all right, let's play the game, let's make it together, and let's, you know, move this forward.
Actually, I disagreed with one of your comments when you introduced it. You said there's no more game coming out where, you know, the studios are just making a game and say, here, watch this.
Well, that does exist.
It still exists a lot. Way too many so far. What I'm about to say is something that I've said to medias as well, and I've had the big gorillas of the industry, they don't like me saying that. It's basically, I'm 41 years old, and when I was playing video game when I was 15, you know, as a teen, I was basically buying every single game made in the world every year, you know. So the year that was Wing Commander, I was playing Wing Commander, and then Duke Nukem, and then Library Quest, and then King Quest, and then, you know, I was just buying up them all, you know. And these games, which was fantastic, but even when they were not fantastic, I was still enjoying it because the demand for video games was a lot bigger than the offer. But that has switched completely. Just from the time that we're speaking now, we won't be able to play all the games being launched right now while we're speaking. So that has switched, and through that switch, you guys got educated in video games. You know, you learn what you like, you learn what you don't like. But some of the big gorillas in industries that became very, very rich because of you at the beginning when the offer was lower than the demand, just forgot the humility of listening to you. And that had a big impact on them. A lot of them went bankrupt, you know. Look at all the big, large studios that are going bankrupt. Look at all the studios where they need a huge $100 million, $500 million success per year to be able to survive. If they don't, they just die, you know. And I think that for the industry to be healthy, these big gorillas needs to go back to the basic and understand that they're getting paid by you, not just I'm an exec and I'm a multimillionaire and I made this game and I'm a superhero. No, it's what you guys want. We're actor on the theater and we want to make you feel emotion. And you're paying us to do that. So that's what we have to remember, and we have to be humble about that, and we have to listen to you. There's some publisher that are adjusting. Look at Square Enix. Square Enix went from hundreds of millions of losses 9 months later by saying, we don't sell boxes anymore. We're not a tax on studio to access the market. We want to have an added value on the gamers as well as on the studio. So now we will provide game as a service, you know, to you guys. And that statement and the way they organize themselves, they went from hundreds of millions of losses to hundreds of millions of profit in 9 months for one of the largest publishers in the world. Just
the trouble with an innovative technology like virtual reality and Oculus Rift is that it usually has a really high price point, and developers and investors are going to pull the plug on it before it gets a chance to catch on. Gamers tend to get really attached to their controllers or their tweezers. It's almost 20 years since virtual reality was one of the worst flops ever. It was checked by Nintendo. Now that Oculus Rift has been bought by Facebook, which their biggest claim is farm-built and not really made for Oculus Rift, is this the best thing that could have happened to Oculus Rift or the worst? Is this something that's going to get buried? Is it going to be as great as what could have been, or is it going to be something that's
I still don't want to comment on that.
I'll just do a very quick comment. I have no clue whatsoever, honestly. When I received that news, I forwarded it to my team. And I mean, Facebook was written in 36 characters. And I said to my team, Microsoft bought Oculus. Because my brain wouldn't accept that it was Facebook. And then I said, was it Facebook? And then I looked at, I said it was Facebook. I said, no, that's you know, April Fool is gone. On that, I have no clue about why Facebook did that, and if they have a special secret plan behind this. It's hard to say, you know. I'm a bit worried. Yes, I'm a bit worried. I don't know why they did that, and I don't know what's going to be there.
double exactly what he said for my reaction to it. It's just like, I don't know. I mean, especially for Oculus Rift, I mean, who knows what's going to happen there. The thing is, I mean, for at least this next version of the technology, the cat's out of the bag. Like, something is going to come out within the next couple of years, whether it be Sony or whether it be, you know, Oculus or Facebook, Valve moving Crystal Code forward, whatever. We're going to see the next iteration of technology. Is it going to be the Virtual Boy?
The only thing I can comment an opinion on this though, it's in terms of moral value. You know, you guys invested in a Kickstarter thing that, without revenue, sold itself for $2 billion. Moral value-wise, I think it's not really honest. That's the only thing I can say.
No, and I think I will say this. I was with those guys I was with the Oculus guys on Wednesday in San Francisco, and then Monday or Tuesday that news came out, and I'm like, no way. There's no way this happens in 3 days, but it did. And I think I do agree. I think it was a dicey situation. I think every single person in gaming was kind of like this when they looked at their computer. But I do know, and I read it in a bunch of articles. You know, Palmer, who invented the Oculus, came out and said, "You don't understand. This allows us to drop the price point and make it more accessible to people, and it gives us kind of what we need." So there's a lot of angles to that one. Like I said, I'm with these guys. I don't know. We all kind of went, whoa, okay. But you know, watch Silicon Valley on HBO, you get it. I mean, that's what they do, you know. So and you see it. I think it was Google that bought that robotics company up in Massachusetts. They have like robots that run as fast as cheetahs. And I remember seeing it, going, "That's so cool." Oh, Google just bought them for a couple bill, you know, you know, and that's what it becomes. So we'll see, but I'm just comforted by the fact that these technologies finally get funding and move forward, and it ultimately, hopefully, will make our world a better place. So,
That Gary's Mod was about.
Garry's Mode is a game. It was made by the with the Counter-Strike engine. What is it called? The Counter-Strike engine. Source. Yeah. So it's made with the technical software that people use, the developer, to make Counter-Strike. And they dumbed it down a little bit. They made it more easy to use, and they give you that tool. So you can spawn a building and then spawn a monster. And what my kids do, they do all the alien guys. So they spawn all the alien guys, and they make them very, very mean against all the Mickey Mouse guys. And then they start a fight between both of them, and they watch who's going to win between Mickey Mouse and Alien. So it allows you to drop a lot of things and create with the tools that are easy to use in a video game, basically. Cool, no problem.
guys, thanks so much. I hope everybody got time. I hate being out of time on these, but we are at time. So thanks again, guys. Have a great C2E2. Two things really quickly. Come see my friends for Extra Life right here. Guys, raise your hands so they know. They help kids who have issues and things like that, and you can do it through playing games. And in about 15 minutes, we're going to be in N427, and Miguel's going to talk about 40K, the Eternal Crusade. So thanks again, guys.